Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? Yes, anyone of you please confirm, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir, audible.
Yes,
All right. Okay, so today we are going to start this new
we are
chapter,
doing
straight lines.
so sets are not doing.
Sets will be completed in the next class, or maybe I think two classes will be there on straight lines, and then the third class will complete sets. Basically, we have to complete these two chapters only. So don't worry, they will be covered well before your exams. So in this chapter,
So for
straight line,
these 3 days, we're
yeah,
having class at 2.
yeah,
Okay,
all
so
3 days, yes. All right. So before we actually start the chapter, let's have a brief recap of the concepts that you have studied in class 10th. In class 10th, you have studied a chapter called coordinate geometry. Okay. So in coordinate geometry, basically there are two perpendicular straight lines called x-axis and y-axis. They meet at a point which is called origin. This whole arrangement is called Cartesian plane. And then we write some numbers taking into account their directions, that is positive x-axis, negative x-axis, positive y-axis, negative y-axis, like that. Okay. Now also these two perpendicular lines divide the whole plane in four quadrants. And after that you have learned how to plot a point. Suppose I want to plot a point 3, 2. Then how we plot this point? We start from origin. We first go along positive x-axis by 3 units, and then in a direction perpendicular to it we move upward by 2 units. So this distance is 3, this distance is 2, point is 3, 2. Similarly, you can draw other points based on their position in the quadrants. Now if you remember, there is this sign scheme or sign convention in all the four quadrants. In the first quadrants, both the coordinates, that is x-axis and y, x coordinate and y coordinate, both are positive. In the second quadrant, x is negative, y is positive. In third quadrant, both the coordinates x and y are of negative sign, and in the fourth one, x is positive and y is negative. This is the basic concept of coordinate geometry. And generally, any point P, any point P is denoted by not any particular point, any point x comma y, where x is called x coordinate, or it is also known as this term abscissa, abscissa of point P. X coordinate, abscissa, both are same, and y is called y coordinate of point or ordinate of point P. Now after this, 2 points to be remembered. Any point on x-axis any point on x-axis can be taken as x comma 0. Why? Because if you are moving along x-axis, there will be no y coordinate. Okay, you are not moving vertically up or down. You are always moving along x-axis, either in negative or positive direction. So no y coordinate will be there. Therefore, it is 0. Similarly, any point on y-axis is 0 comma y. Now x coordinate will be 0, right? And otherwise, if the point is not on the axis, it is in some quadrant, then it is written by x comma y, where x stands for x coordinate, y stands for y coordinate, also known as abscissa ordinate respectively. Also take care about the sign scheme, sign convention. Based on the position in the quadrant, you will be writing the plus and minus in the coordinates of the point considered. Okay. So this is something called plotting of a point. I think you studied this in 8th or 9th. Now, after understanding this concept, that is plotting of point, you studied the first thing that you studied in class 10 was distance formula. So what it is about? Basically, you are given 2 points. There can be any 2 points. Okay. It is not necessary they are in first quadrant. They can be anywhere in this plane. So if I have to find the distance between them, okay, if I have to find the distance between them, points p x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2, then the formula is pq equals under root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. This is your distance. I hope you remember distance formula studied in class 10th. So if you have to find the distance between the points, you need to have their coordinates. When 2 points are given, that means their coordinates are given. By using their values, you will put those values in this formula and you will get the distance between those 2 points. Then another concept that you studied in class 10th was section formula. Here you are given a line segment, say AB, that means coordinates are given, and there is some another point P which divides this line segment in ratio AP is to PB or M is to N. So these three things, x1 y1 is given, x2 y2 is given, and this ratio AP is to PB, that is M is to N, this is given. On the basis of these three given values, that is coordinates of A, B and the ratio, you were able to find the coordinates of this point P, which is dividing this line segment internally in the ratio AP is to PB. Can anyone tell me what was the formula? How you find the x coordinate?
m1 x2 plus m2 x upon
Okay.
m1 plus m2.
All right. So in here, in place of M1 and M2, I have selected M and N. So M is acting as M1 and N is acting as M2. So formula used to be M into X2 plus N into X1 upon M plus N. By this we used to calculate X coordinate, and Y coordinate is M Y2 plus N Y1. Similar formula but totally in terms of Y coordinates. So this formula used to give the coordinates of the point P, which used to divide the line segment in some ratio M is to N. Then here there was one special case when P used to be the midpoint. When P used to be the midpoint, midpoint means it is dividing the line segment in two equal parts. So the ratio will be 1:1. Now the coordinates can be written using our formula also. This in place of m and n you will put 1 and 1. So x coordinate is x2 plus x1 by 2, y coordinate is y2 plus y1 by 2. We sometimes say that it is midpoint formula. Special case of the above formula. Special case midpoint 1:1 ratio. Otherwise this ratio can have any values like 2:3, 1:7, etc. But for midpoint they write this formula separately. Okay. And the last thing that you studied in class 10th was about the area of triangle. Suppose you have a triangle whose vertices are given. When we say vertices are given, we mean that the coordinates of the vertices are given. So if we have the knowledge of the coordinates of the three vertices of the triangle, then we can calculate its area using the formula half. Then there used to be mod y, area cannot be negative, and the formula used to be x1 into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1 plus x3 into y1 minus y2, and then it was enclosed within modulus sign. Okay. So again, if we have the coordinates, we will put their values in this formula and you will get the area of triangle formed by these 3 points, that is x1 y1, x2 y2 and x3 y3. Based on this above result, we used to prove a certain thing, that to prove that 3 points x1 y1, x2 y2 and x3 y3 are collinear. Collinear means they are on same straight line. So how we can prove that 3 points are collinear? Do you remember anything? How we used to prove that 3 points are collinear?
So using the distance formula, if the answers for all the coordinates are same, then we could do.
Okay, that is one method. Any other method?
Area of triangle.
So
If
area
area
is
is
equal to
equal to
0.
0.
Yes, good. So both the methods are correct. I will tell you what he was saying. That also, you have two things. One, area of triangle. Let me name them as A, B and C. So area of triangle ABC 0. Just show that and you will be able to prove that 3 points are collinear. Why? Because if area is coming 0, that means there is no triangle. So that means if no triangle is formed, then that means that A point will also be lying on BC. Otherwise, if A point is not on BC, then definitely there will be some triangle. So to prove that 3 points are collinear, you can opt for this first one. So this formula just put this value equal to 0 and you will be able to use the fact that points are collinear. Or if you have to prove that the points are collinear, just show that the value of this expression, that is half and everything inside mod, this is coming out to be 0. One method. Second, distance formula. Distance formula. How? Suppose that these are the 3 points A, B and C. As you can see that clearly they are in on the same straight line. So if you have to prove mathematically that the 3 points are collinear, just show that the sum of distances between two pairs is equal to the distance between third pair. From the diagram also it is visible that if we find AB and then we find BC and we add these two distances, what you will get? You will get AC. But this is not so in case of triangle. If ABC is forming a triangle, then here AB plus BC will not be equal to AC. In fact, in this one, sum of two sides will be greater than third. So observe this. If sum of two sides or sum of distances between two pairs is greater than the distance between the third pair, then it will be a triangle. But if it is coming equal to, then it will be a case of collinear points. All these things you have studied till class 10th. Whether plotting of a point or writing the coordinates or using distance formula, section formula, area of triangle, all these concepts were covered in class 10. So Our discussion will start from here only. Now, what's new after this? The first thing, the first thing that you are supposed to study is slope of line. Slope of line. Name of the chapter is straight line. Okay. Now you have studied everything related to point or 2 points or line segment. So now the next topic is line. In this chapter, you will learn a lot of things like writing the equation of lines in different forms. Then some important terms related to the straight line like slope, inclination, etc. So let us study one by one. First of all, before you understand slope, let me tell you what is inclination. So this is a straight line. This is a straight line, and the first thing that we need to understand is inclination of line. Remember this term, inclination. So it is the angle. It is the angle which the line makes. It is the angle which the line makes with positive x-axis. That means the initial rays along positive x-axis. I hope you remember the concept of angle. I taught you in trigonometry. Angle can either be measured in anti-clockwise sense or it can be measured in clockwise sense, right? So this used to be the line segment or the ray from where angle starts is called the initial ray, and where it ends it's called the terminal ray. Okay, this we have already completed in trigonometry. So what is inclination? It is the angle which the line makes with positive direction of x-axis. That means positive direction of x-axis is the initial ray in anti-clockwise sense. I have shown the diagram as well. So this angle here, that means with respect to the diagram, theta is inclination of line. Theta is inclination of line. Angle which line makes with positive direction of x-axis in anti-clockwise sense. Theta is inclination of line. Please mute yourself. So theta is inclination of line. Now about theta. Depending on the line or depending on the position of the line, theta can vary from 0 to 180 degree. A line can either make 0 degree angle or it can make less than 180. Why there is no closed interval on
Excuse
180?
me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you share the notes of this class?
Actually, I have started the basically before that there was like recap, right? And from here we are starting the chapter from slope of line itself. So if you want, you can note it down, because see, when we'll be completing these topics for school exams, okay, then there are so many things in permutation, combination, complex number. So we need to remember learn those chapters once again. Okay. So at that time I will be providing you the notes. Right now, this is just for your school exam. So if you want, I will give you time. You can note it down. Okay.
Okay, sir. So because I just joined.
No problem. The chapter has started from this concept only, slope of line. Okay.
This is not for JEE.
No, these concepts, see, first of all, remove this confusion from your mind. NCRT is for school only, J is something else. It is like, first you learn the alphabet, then you start writing the words. Okay. So without the knowledge of alphabets, you can't write the words. That's it. So if someone says, is slope of line related to JE or not? It makes no sense. See, like suppose that there are 25 articles. So 10 to 12 articles will there be in NCRT as well. Remaining 10 to 12 articles, they will be part of your JMIN preparation as well. Okay. So whatever you are studying at a school level also, that is like, it is equally important. So when I will be starting straight line, I will assume that whatever I have taught you in these classes, you know all these things. All right. And then later on, I will provide you the complete notes. Got it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So this
So
is
pay attention
permutation
to
and
everything. Do
combination, no?
yeah.
So this is permutation and combination, no?
No, this class, this one. No, actually, ma'am
Yes,
has
sir.
forgotten to change the heading. It is no more permutation combination. In fact, we have completed complex number as well. So I will ask her to change the heading. It is like a straight line going on right now.
Okay, so complex numbers only, no?
No, complex number has been completed. You were not there in the previous classes.
Yes, sir. So now I thought you forgot something and you're doing that.
No, no, I have started this chapter today only, and this is the chapter straight line. It is, I think, chapter 10th of NCRT. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. Let's continue. So we are
Sir,
going to yes. What?
sir. So you have completed complex numbers, right?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
What is the confusion? Whenever I end the class, it is always discussed that we have completed the chapter. I don't know what is the issue or what is the confusion. Anyways, let's continue. So the topic straight line. The first topic is slope of line, and to understand the slope of line, we need to understand the inclination of line first. So what I was saying, what is the meaning of inclination? It is the angle. It is the angle which the line makes with positive direction of x-axis in anti-clockwise sense. This is the definition of inclination. As you can see this angle theta with respect to this diagram, you can see that what is theta? It is the angle which this line is making with positive direction of x-axis. And what is the sense? Sense is anti-clockwise, which is represented by this arrow. So what is this called? This is called the inclination of line. And I was saying that this inclination can vary from 0 to 180 degree. How? Like suppose this is the line. Let's say this is the line, this red one. So now what will be the angle which this line will be making with positive x-axis? 0 degree, right? It is coinciding with or overlapping with x-axis. Then suppose there is this line. So naturally this line is making some obtuse angle. Okay, it is making some obtuse angle with positive x-axis in anti-clockwise sense. So what can be the maximum angle it can make with x-axis? That will be 180 degree. But you know what will happen? When you will try to make 180 with x-axis, it will once again overlap with x-axis only, like this one. You are constantly increasing the angle, right? You are changing and making different lines every time. So what will happen? A situation will come when the line will once again overlap with x-axis. But then there will be problem. Some of you will say that inclination is 0 degree. Some of you will say that inclination is 180 degree. So that is why to remove this confusion, we have taken 0 in closed interval and 180 in open. That means whenever the line will be along x-axis only, the inclination will be 0 degree and not 180 degree. Now there is no confusion. So inclination of the line can be least 0 degree and maximum it will be less than 180 degree. It can make 179 degree also, 179.5 degree also. But as soon as it will come back again to x-axis, we will say that angle is 0 degree. You will see different questions at that time also. You will get the idea about this thing called inclination. However, the heading is slope. So now that we have understood what is the inclination of line, let us now define the slope of line. First thing, slope is also known as gradient. This is another name for slope of line. Okay, do not get confused. Slope, gradient, same. And what it is? What is the definition? It is the tangent of the inclination of the line. Simple definition. Tangent means like sine, cosine, tan, cot, that tangent. So it is the tangent of the inclination of the line. It is usually denoted by small m. In this chapter throughout you will find the small m and they will say that small m is the slope of line. So it is usually denoted by small m and given by, and what is the formula? Formula will come from the definition and given by m equals tan theta. So to find the slope, you need to have the knowledge of inclination of the line. Once you have the inclination, you will put that value of inclination or theta here in this formula, because what is slope? It is the tangent of the inclination of the line. Tangent is the full name of TA and tan. Okay, so you will find the tan theta and that will be equal to the value of slope of line. It has been defined as such. There is no reason why. Okay, they were supposed to define slope, so they took tan theta as the slope, or they could have defined by sine theta or cos theta, but no, the standard notation is you want the slope, you will find the tan theta, that is tangent of the inclination, and that will be known as the slope of the line. Okay, it has been defined as such. I'm repeating, it is the definition. So first let us solve a simple question. Find the slope of line which makes 30° with positive x-axis in anti-clockwise sense. Straightforward question. Tell me what will be the answer.
So 1 upon root 3.
Yes, 1 by root 3. Because see, it is a straightforward question. What has been given through this language? Inclination. Theta, which is 30°. So what about slope? Slope m is tan theta. That means tan 30°. Answer is 1 by root 3. Second question. Now I will change the language a little bit. Let me see who can give the answer now. Find the slope of line which makes 30° with positive y-axis in anti-clockwise sense. Now what will be your answer?
Root 3.
Root 3. Anyone else? Any other answer?
So minus 1 by root 3.
Minus 1 by root 3. Any other answer?
Minus root 3.
Minus root 3. Can you tell me why? What is the reason? How you have calculated minus root 3? I just want to know that only. You need to draw a diagram first. Draw a straight line such that it makes 30° with y-axis in anti-clockwise sense. So draw any random line like this such that it makes 30°. See, this is the angle. And this angle, what is its direction? Its direction is anti-clockwise. Okay. Direction is anti-clockwise. It is making 30° with positive y-axis in anti-clockwise sense. But I cannot say that slope will be tan 30°. Why? Because this is not inclination. So we have to find inclination from here. Can anyone tell me what will be the inclination of the line?
120.
Yes, 120 will be the correct answer, and then you will find the slope. Why? Because see, this is 30 degree. This angle will be 30 degree, vertically opposite angle. This angle is 90 degree, right? This angle, by angle sum property, will be 60 degree. Angle sum property 60 degree. And that is why this angle will be 120 degree. Linear pair of angles. First 30 degree was given with y-axis. Then we got this angle 30 degree in triangle because vertically opposite angle. X and y axis meet each other at 90 degree. Therefore, the third angle of the triangle, which you can see, is 60 degree. And that's why using linear pair of angle, our angle, that is inclination, will come out to be 120 degree. So this diagram is self-explanatory. So here I will write inclination theta as 120 degree. Therefore, slope m, which is tan 120 degree. So now you need to write this value, and you already know how to calculate it using reduction formula. Tan 120 is 180 minus 60. 180 even multiple, no change in trigonometric ratio. Tan of theta, but angle is obtuse. That means angle is in second quadrant. Second quadrant tan is negative, so a minus sign will come. And tan 60, we know that its value is minus root 3. You have to pay attention to the language. Many times students simply write tan theta. It is not always inclination directly. Read the question properly. In the previous question, inclination was given because angle was given with positive axis only. But this time they have given angle with y axis. Okay. So draw the diagram and then you will be able to find the inclination. I'm taking one more question here. Find the slope of line. Which makes just wait. Okay, 60 degree with positive y axis in clockwise sense. In clockwise sense. Now you tell me what is the answer. Draw a diagram. Draw a line which makes 60 degree with positive y-axis in clockwise sense. You will get to know the inclination, right?
So 1 by root 3.
1 by root 3. I'm checking others also try. Yes, any other answer?
So 1 by root 3.
Yes, 1 by root 3 is correct. See, draw a line first. Now you have to make 60 degree. You have to make 60 degree with positive y-axis in clockwise sense. See this. And draw lines such that it looks like 60 degree. Okay. That means acute angle with positive y-axis clockwise sense. So this is sufficient to draw any line. Okay. So this is the line. It is making 60 degree with positive y-axis in clockwise sense. So that is why this angle will be 60 degree. This is 90. So this angle is 30 degree. This angle is 30. Okay. This angle is 30. And this is only the inclination. Why? Now some of you may be confused. Sir, is this angle with negative x-axis or positive x-axis? See, I tell you one thing. Suppose this is the angle. Try to understand this basic concept. You get confused in this also. If this is suppose this amount of rotation, this amount of rotation is 30 degree, then what do you think? This will change? This is also 30 degree. What about this? This will change? No, 30 degree. But all these angles are same only. The amount of rotation is same. This is the concept of angle. So if I say this angle is 30 degree, or I say this angle is 30 degree, or I say this angle is 30 degree, all of these things are same. So actually this is the angle which the line is making with positive x-axis and anti-clockwise sense. So what is the inclination? Inclination is 30 degree. What is the slope? Slope is tan theta. That means tan 30 degree. Answer will be 1 by root 3. This is the way to find the slope with the help of inclination. So you must have the knowledge of inclination, then only you will be able to write the slope. However, there is another way to find the slope. That is different article.
So can you show the question of this one?
This is the question. All right. Now let us move to the next topic. Here also we are going to find the slope of line. Here also we are going to find the slope of line. But now different concept will be used. Slope of line when 2 points on it are given. 2 points on it are given. So that means now they are not giving inclination. Instead, what they have done, they are saying that we are giving 2 points to you, x1, y1 and x2, y2. And in terms of these 2 points, that means their coordinates, you find the slope of line. Have you studied this formula in physics? Do you know how to find the slope of line using 2 points? Any one of you remember how to find slope of line?
y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1.
Yes, correct. Good. So y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, that is the formula that you use. Okay. Let us prove it. So if x1, y1 and x2, y2 are 2 points on a line, then its slope is given by m equals x2 minus x1 upon, sorry, m equals y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Now see what happens. How we'll get this formula? For this, I drop perpendicular from P and Q on x-axis like this. Okay. Now with the help of diagram, and because of this construction, can anyone tell me what are the coordinates of M? Can anyone tell me what will be the coordinates of point M? Any one of you?
So x1 comma 0.
Yes, correct. X1 comma 0. See, first of all, y coordinate will be 0 because the point is on x-axis, and the x coordinate of M and P both will be same because they are lying on the same vertical line. Like for example, suppose that this point is 1 comma 0. So if this point is 1 comma 0, every point on this line will have x coordinate as 1 and y coordinate will be changing. It is obvious why, because when we move along this vertical line, we are not moving to the right or left, so x will remain same, but obviously we are constantly going up or down, so y coordinate will be changing. This is the reason. Based on this concept, we can write coordinates of n also, and that will be x2 comma 0 because coordinates of q and n will be same. Now I draw a perpendicular from P to this line segment qn. Let us say it is t. This point, okay, which is the intersection point of qn and pt, t point. Can anyone tell me what will be the coordinates of point T? All these are related to class 10 concepts. Coordinates of point T.
So x2 comma y1.
Yes, correct. Good. X2 comma y1. Why? Because on this line segment QN, x coordinate will remain same and which is x2. And what about the height or the y coordinate? That will be equal to y1. Why? Because this PM and TN both are at the same height. Or you can understand this with the help of rectangle also. In rectangle, opposite sides are equal. So what about PM? PM is y1 height. So what about TN? That will also be y1. So what about the coordinates of t? X2 comma y1. All right. Now suppose that this angle is theta. Suppose that this angle is theta. QPT. Suppose this angle is theta. Okay. Suppose angle QPT is theta. See, basically you are studying coordinate geometry. That means you are studying geometry with the help of coordinates. Okay, geometry with the help of coordinates. Remember this thing. So what I want to say is there will be many questions where results on geometry will be used. So you should be prepared. Anything can be used like angle sum property, then some of angle sum property, then properties of circle like perpendicular from center bisect the chord, angle in the same segment of circle are equal, then congruency, similarity, anything can be used. So angle QPT, this angle I have supposed as theta. Now in triangle QPT only, if I want to find tan theta is perpendicular by base, which is TQ upon TP. It is the ratio of these two sides. From the diagram, can anyone tell me what will be the value of TQ? Can you find the length TQ? What it will be? Yes, anyone? TQ height. It is clear from the graph itself. C.
y2 minus y1.
Y2 minus y1. Right. It is simple. First, find NQ. NQ. N is on x-axis. So what is this NQ height? NQ height is y2. Why? Because coordinate of n is x2 comma 0 and on the same straight line on the same vertical line coordinates of q are x2 comma y2. So what about this height qn? Y2. What about height tn? Y1. So if you subtract y1 from y2, what will remain? That means if you subtract the length of tn from length of qn, what will remain? TQ will remain. That means y2 minus y1. Similarly, if we have to find TP, it will be x2 minus x1. Why? This is origin. It is 0 comma 0. What is the distance of n from O? Distance from n from O that is visible. No need of any formula or anything. Coordinates of O are 0 0. Coordinates of n are x2 comma 0. So that means it has moved a distance of x2 along n x-axis. And what about OM? OM distance is x1. ON distance is x2. So what about MN distance? MN distance is x2 minus x1. Okay. And if you know that in a rectangle opposite sides are equal, so as a result, this length PT, this will also become x2 minus x1. Why TP MN will be a rectangle? Because every angle is 90 degree. So in a quadrilateral, if all angles are 90, it will be a rectangle. And that is why I'm saying that MN is equal to TP. So we have shown that tan theta is coming out to be equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Now, I am writing one more point here. Highlighting one more point. Let's say this point is, say, A. This point is A. Can anyone tell me what will be the value of angle QAN? Angle QAN. It is equal to how much? Theta? Theta.
Theta.
What is the reason? What is the reason?
It's corresponding angles.
Yes, correct. Corresponding angle. See, this PT is parallel to AN. PT is parallel to AN. That is why angle QPT and angle QAN both will be equal corresponding angle. This type of diagram is there. See, if this angle is theta, this angle is also theta. Remember, transversal, everything parallel lines. So corresponding angle. And if this angle is theta, now angle QAN is theta, corresponding angle. So our proof is complete. Why? Because this is nothing but the inclination of the line. We just discussed. Some of you may be confused, sir, is this angle measured from negative x-axis or positive x-axis? So I told you that amount of rotation do not change. If this angle is theta, this is also be theta. All these angles are theta only, right? So we have got inclination. And what is tan theta? What is tan theta? Now angle QAN is inclination of line. QAN equals theta is inclination of line from the definition of inclination. Therefore, tan theta will be slope of line. Tan theta will be slope of line. But we have proved that tan theta is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 using geometry and and trigonometry. So what you will say? You will say that this value m, tan theta is nothing but m, and the formula is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So this is proof. Okay, this is proof. But we are supposed to use the formula, and formula is very simple. If you have 2 points on a line, then in the numerator you will subtract their y coordinates, and in the denominator you will subtract their x coordinates. But please note the order. If you are subtracting in the way like y2 minus y1, then in denominator also you will subtract x1 from x2 and not x2 from x1. That means either you write y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, or you can write y1 minus y2 upon x1 minus x2. But never write like this, y2 minus y1 upon x1 minus x2. This will be wrong. Either you write the coordinates of second point first, that is x2 y2, or you write coordinates of the first point, that is y1 minus y2 upon x1 minus x2, like this. Okay, so this is okay. This is also fine, y1 minus y2. But never write like this, y2 minus y1 upon x1 minus x2. This will be wrong. It will give just the opposite value, opposite sign. That is why. So 2 points and you will be able to write the slope of the line. Let us solve some questions. Find the slope of line if 1, 2 and 3, 4 are 2 points on it. And its answer.
So 1.
Yes, slope will be 1, right? Because see, you directly use the formula. Okay, what is slope? Y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. And what will be the answer? Answer will be 1. Okay, direct application. Now I'm going to take a very important example. Suppose that this point is A, this point is B, which is 3, 4, and this is point P. Okay, it's point P. Just a minute. Yeah, this is the diagram, and based on adjoining diagram, you have to find coordinates of point P. This is an important question, okay? So this diagram is given, okay? 2 points are given, starting point, end point, that is 1, 2 and 3, 4. And they are connected by this point P, which is on x-axis. This is the information, and you have to find the coordinates of the point P. What is the first thing that you know about the coordinates of point P?
So x comma 0.
Yes.
Y will be equal to 0.
Yes, correct. First of all, y coordinate of point P will be 0 because it is on x-axis. So you just need to find one coordinate, that is x coordinate. Therefore, let coordinates of P are x comma 0. So you have to find the coordinates of P. That means now you have to find x. Can you relate it to the concept that you have studied till now? Can anyone find it? How we are going to use the above concepts here in this question? Okay, one more thing. Yeah, one more thing. Based on adjoining diagram, find coordinates of point P if we will have to add this point also. If a ray of light is traveling along this path, if a ray of light is traveling along this path, traveling along the path APB. Now the question is complete. Along the path APB. Let me see how this will be used. Ray of light is traveling along the path APB. Do you remember anything with respect to this ray of light or anything that you have studied in your previous classes? How you will use this fact?
So that the ray of light is a straight line.
Yeah, that is okay. So, like it is getting reflected from
Angle
here.
of incidence is equal to angle of
Yes, very good.
reflection.
Yes, that is what I'm expecting. When I said ray of light, you said it travels in a straight line. That is fine. But if we see the diagram, then it is understood that this ray of light is being reflected from point P, and hence laws of reflection will be used here. That is why I added this point. Without using this point, you won't be able to find the x coordinate. So now he's saying that angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. But if you remember, all these things are drawn or considered from the normal. Okay, normal. Normal is simply perpendicular. And this is your angle of incidence, theta. And this is your angle of reflection. And this is law of reflection. Okay. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So without writing this sentence, ray of light and traveling along this, you won't be able to say that both angles are same. Now you can say that. And what else? If this angle is theta, this angle is theta, what about this angle? Can anyone tell me what will be the measurement of this angle? BPX is the x-axis.
90 minus theta.
Yes, 90 minus theta. Why? Because this is normal. So normal will make 90 degree with x-axis, and this part is theta. So what is remaining? 90 minus theta. Now, how this will help us to find the x coordinate? Let us see now. See, I'm writing this m, and in suffix I'm writing BP. That means I want to write the slope of line BP or line segment BP. Okay, slope of BP. Can anyone tell me how can I write the slope here? Look at the diagram and tell me how you will write the slope here. Slope of
So
BP.
tan 90 minus theta.
Very good. Tan of 90 minus theta. Why? Don't write tan theta. First you look at the diagram. In the diagram, inclination of BP is 90 minus theta. It is this angle which it makes with positive x-axis. Tan of the inclination, tan of 90 minus theta. Can you write it in some other way also?
Section formula.
Distance formula. I'm asking about the slope.
The section formula.
So
Section
cot
formula.
theta.
No, wait a minute. Let him speak. Yes, what you were saying?
Theta.
I am asking how we can write this slope.
Not saying section formula.
No section formula. How you can write the slope by section formula? These are two different things. How you can write slope using section formula? You find the coordinates using section formula, not the slope. My question is, can you write the slope in some other way also? This BP. You just studied the article that slope can also be written using 2 points on the given line. So that is sufficient to write the slope of BP. Who will tell?
So y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1.
Yes. So here the 2 points are 3, 4 and x, 0. So slope can be written as 4 minus 0 upon 3 minus x. This is what I'm saying. So what happens? What you get here? Apply trigonometry. Tan of 90 minus theta is cot theta. Reduction formula. And here it is 4 upon 3 minus x. Write it as first equation. This result you have got by writing the slope of BP. Now, who will tell me how to write slope of AP? Slope of AP.
Two minus zero upon one minus x.
Yes, that is correct. 2 minus 0 using 2 point form. 2 minus 0 upon 1 minus x. What is the other way in which you can write the slope?
Cot theta.
Cot theta directly. First you write in terms of 10, then you tell me whether it is cot or not. Slope of AP. Tangent of the inclination. What is the inclination of AP? Look at the diagram. What is the inclination of AP?
So 90 minus theta plus 2 theta.
Yes, so that will become 90 plus theta. Why? What is the inclination of AP? Let me show you with the help of different color. See this whole angle from here to here. This is your inclination because inclination is measured from positive x-axis in anti-clockwise sense. And this red portion, this red amount of rotation, it is sum of three angles. That is 90 minus theta, then plus theta, then plus theta. So three of them will add up to get 90 plus theta. That is why the slope of AP is tan of 90 plus theta and also equal to 2 minus 0 upon 1 minus x, written with the help of 2 point form. So what I am doing, I am writing the slope of a same line or line segment using tan theta also and using 2 point form also. What is the purpose? Why I am writing it? You will come to know. First use trigonometry. Tan 90 plus theta will become minus cot theta. 90 odd multiple, 10 will change to cot, and 90 plus theta is in second quadrant, so 10 will be negative. That is why. This is 2 upon 1 minus x. Now you have two equations, 1 and 2, and you have to find the value of x. So what you will do, you will substitute the value of cot theta here. So minus of 4 upon 3 minus x is equal to 2 upon 1 minus x. So this will be minus 4 into 1 minus x equals 2 into 3 minus x. Cross multiply. This will become minus 4 plus 4x equals 6 minus 2x. So finally we write 6x is equal to 10, right? 6x is equal to 10. X is 10 by 6 or 5 by 3. So now you have the coordinates of the point P. Point P, x comma 0, right? That means 5 by 3 comma 0. A very good question to apply both the concepts in the same question. Anyone having any doubt can ask. First I write slope of BP using tangent of the inclination and 2-point form. Then I write slope of AP using tangent of the inclination and 2-point form. And from there, I am getting cot theta as 4 upon 3 minus x and minus cot theta as 2 upon 1 minus x. Okay. And then I am using value of cot theta from first equation in second. As a result, I get an equation in x. Solving it, I get x as 5 by 3. Therefore, the coordinates are 5 by 3, 0. So, little concept of physics is also used, which is called law of reflection, but you study these things in class 8, 9th only. Laws of reflection are very common, and with the help of that, we first wrote both the angles as
Please
theta.
scroll down.
Yeah, both the angles as theta. Then using angle that the normal makes 90 degree, I was able to write this angle as 90 minus theta. Okay. All right, let's move to the next topic. It is also related to angle and slope only. Angle between two lines whose slopes are given. Very important article. See, before we start this article and solve the questions on it, because this will be the last article for today. But before that, I want to tell you something. When you come for the next class, that is tomorrow, so you have 24 hours. You have to solve exercise 10.1 of NCRT. There are like 8 to 10 questions. Solve them and ask your doubts first. Okay. This is 10th chapter in NCRT. First exercise you are supposed to solve today itself, or maybe till tomorrow. And we will discuss the doubts first, and then we will proceed to the next exercise. Okay. Do these questions today itself. Yes.
So what will be the portion for the test?
This upcoming test on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
So let us see. I will inform you tomorrow because I may keep some school topics also in your test. Questions may be of objective nature in that test. Okay. So questions may come from complex number. Questions may come from PNC. The latest topics now. No more trigonometry and quadratic and sequence series. So I'm giving you some idea. Expect questions from permutation combination and complex numbers. The permutation from whatever you have studied. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. All right. So angle between two lines whose slopes are given. First, let me write the formula. If slopes of two intersecting lines are m1 and m2 respectively, you know that slope is generally represented by small m. Now there are two slopes, two lines are there. So slope of first line be m1, slope of second line be m2. Then acute angle alpha between these lines is given by. And the formula is tan alpha equals mod of m1 minus m2. Why we put a mod sign? So that tan always comes positive and we are able to write the acute angle. That is why. What is the formula? What is alpha? Alpha is the acute angle between the lines. And this acute angle alpha will be calculated using tan. Please mute yourself. So this acute angle alpha is calculated by this formula. Tan alpha equals mod of m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 m2. Let us see how this formula comes, then we will see how to use it. You are supposed to make two intersecting lines. Let us say these are the two lines. Okay, these are the two lines and their slopes are given. So slope means indirectly they have given inclination also. Let us say this angle is theta 1. So m1 will be tan theta 1. Why? Definition. I have considered theta 1 from my side and slope is given, so I will use the formula m1 is tan theta 1. And what about this? Let's say it is theta 2. Why I am taking this as theta 2? So that I can write m2 as tan theta 2. These are intersecting lines and I have to find the acute angle alpha. Why I am saying acute angle? Because see, when two lines intersect, there are two types of angles formed between them. One is acute angle, other is obtuse angle. Like for example, if I say this angle alpha is acute, then what about this angle? This angle is also between these two lines, but by linear pair, this will be obtuse angle. Now this will be 180 minus theta, vertically opposite. This will be alpha, this angle. So only two types of angles are formed, acute angle, obtuse angle. So with this formula in the box, you will find the acute angle. Suppose it comes out to be 30°. After putting all the values, it comes out to be 30°, let's say. So if someone asks what is the obtuse angle between the lines, so obviously it will be 150°. Why? Because they form a linear pair. That is why.
Me from the meeting.
Sorry.
So someone removed me from the meeting. I don't think he made everyone attendee.
I'm not able to hear you. What are you saying?
Sir, someone is removing
So
us, sir.
someone removed. So
Sir, he's
you
telling
you
that
not
someone
made
is
everyone
removing
attend.
him.
Wait a minute.
So someone removed me.
How can I tell you this? Whosoever is doing this.
Sir, your mic is on mute.
Someone muted you also.
Great. What is the purpose? He or she can remove himself or herself and leave the meeting. That will be better.
Just make everybody attendees.
Wait a minute. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Alright.
sir.
See,
So
so
could you
what I was
explain this proof
yeah, I'm
again?
repeating. I'm repeating.
I was
See, yeah, all right,
so
no problem. See, there are two straight lines. Okay, there are two straight lines. Let's say they are intersecting at some point.
So,
Okay. Yes.
someone is still removing me, sir. Not allowing me to say.
Who is that person? Can you tell me?
No, sir. We can't come to know who is.
See, any one of you is doing this, please stop doing it. Okay, if you don't want to study, you can simply leave. What is the problem? No one is forcing you to study. Okay, but please, if someone else is trying to study, let him. Do not create this nuisance. Okay, you can simply leave the meeting. Okay, so if there are these two lines, okay, there are two lines whose slopes are given. Okay, there are two lines whose slopes are given, m1 and m2, and we have to find angle between these lines. Then it is given by this formula: tan alpha equals mod of m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 m2. So what I will do, I have drawn two lines here. You can see I have drawn two lines. Slope of one line is m1, slope of another line is m2. Okay, and to relate slopes with the inclinations, I have considered the angles as theta 1 and theta 2. Why I have constructed these angles, or why I have drawn these angles? Because they are the inclinations of the given lines. So if I have theta 1, I will write m1 as tan theta 1. I have made this angle as theta 2. Why? Because the slope of line can be written as tan theta 2. And what about this angle? Alpha. Alpha is the angle between the two intersecting lines. I said either the angle can be alpha or angle can be 180 minus alpha also. You can see from the diagram that the angle between the two lines is either alpha or 180 minus alpha. One of them will be acute, other will be obtuse because of the linear pair. So now I'm going to prove this result that tan alpha mod of this will give you an acute angle. Okay. Now based on this diagram, can anyone tell me what is the relation between these three angles? That is alpha, theta 1 and theta 2. What is the relation in these three angles? Theta 1, theta 2 and alpha. Can you tell me any relation in these three angles?
So alpha plus theta 1 is equal to theta 2.
Yes, good. And that is exterior angle theorem, right? Exterior angle theorem. So I said that results of geometry will be used, right? Exterior angle is equal to sum of two interior opposite angles. So theta 2 is equal to theta 1 plus alpha. As a result, now I can write alpha as theta 2 minus theta 1. Now from here, I will apply tan both sides. I will apply tan both sides. So this will become tan alpha. And in the right hand side, I will use formula of tan A minus B. I have already taught you this formula. Can anyone tell me what is the formula of tan A minus B?
So tan A minus tan B upon 1
Yes.
plus tan A tan B.
Yes, correct. Good. So this will be tan theta 2 minus tan theta 1 upon 1 plus tan theta 2 tan theta 1 using the formula of tan A minus B. Now what is tan theta 2? Tan theta 2 is m2, right? Slope of the second line. What is tan theta 1? Slope of the first line. Denominator it is 1 plus m2 m1. Okay. But see, when you will put these values here, the overall result may be negative or positive depending on the values of m1 and m2. Now to make sure that alpha always come acute. Now if alpha is to be acute, that means tan alpha must be positive. ASTC rule. And to confirm that tan alpha is positive or alpha is acute, we will put a modulus sign in the right hand side. Because now whatever happens, because of m1 and m2, ultimately because of modulus only positive value will be coming, and so you will be able to find the acute angle first. Now it does not matter whether you write m2 minus m1 or you write m1 minus m2. Both are same things because modulus is there. Why? Because there is this property that mod x or mod of minus x both are same. Okay. So either I write a minus b inside the modulus or write b minus a inside the modulus. Ultimately, I will get the same answer because ultimately positive value will be coming. So here also tan alpha will be m2 minus m1 upon 1 plus m2 m1 mod or m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 m2 mod. This is the explanation. And if someone want to ask the obtuse angle, you find acute angle here, and you subtract that acute angle from 180 degree. So what about obtuse angle? Obtuse angle between the lines. Obtuse angle between the lines will be 180 minus alpha. Simple. So this is the proof. So what is the purpose? You have two intersecting lines. You have their slopes. Put their values here in this formula. You will get tan alpha equal to some positive number. Find acute angle alpha. You will get the acute angle between those two intersecting lines. Put in the formula 180 minus alpha. You will get the obtuse angle between the lines as well. Now before I take some questions, I want to ask two things. Very important results.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So what you wrote that now if alpha is to be a
Alpha is to be acute. Alpha is to be acute.
no.
If
Okay,
we
sir.
have to confirm that alpha is to be acute, then tan alpha must be positive, right? ASTC rule. And to make it positive, we need to put a modulus sign in the right hand side. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay. So last 2 points of theory here. If the lines are there are special cases. Okay. Special cases. If the lines are parallel, can anyone tell me what will be the relation in M1 and M2? You will get the answer from this box only. If the lines are parallel, just think for a moment. Then what will be the relation in M1 and M2 if lines are parallel? Okay, tell me if
So,
the yes, please.
so M1 is equal to M2.
Very good. See, if the lines are parallel, everybody please note. If lines are parallel, that means they may not be intersecting, or if I say they are intersecting, because see this case parallel or this case coincident. In both these cases, if I ask you what is the angle between the lines, then definitely you will say that angle is 0 degree. The angle between the lines in this case is 0 degree. So if alpha is 0, okay, if alpha is 0, then tan alpha will become 0, right? If alpha is 0, tan alpha becomes 0, and that means this whole thing in mod becomes 0. So mod of m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 m2, this becomes 0. See here. So from here, what you will do now? You will shift denominator to the right hand side. You will get mod of m1 minus m2 as 0, or m1 minus m2 as 0, or m1 equals m2. A very important result. If two lines are parallel, their slopes are equal. Remember this thing. If two lines are parallel, m1 is equal to m2, derived from this above formula. Next and last one, if the lines are perpendicular. Now can anyone tell me special cases? These are two special cases, okay? Otherwise you can find using this formula. But for parallel and perpendicular, we write the results separately. So what if the lines are perpendicular? Now what will be the relation between these two, M1 and M2? See in such case, alpha will become 90 degree, right? Angle between the lines. And if this is 90, then what will happen to this condition? This will become infinite, right? And you know that the division of two terms comes infinity if this denominator is 0, right? Like 5 upon 0 is infinity, for example. So the if answer is coming infinity because 1090 is infinity, that means its denominator must be 0. Denominator must be 0 means 1 plus m1 m2 0. Or that means m1 m2 is minus 1. M1 m2 equals minus 1. So how we remember? How we remember? If the lines are parallel, their slopes are equal. If the lines are perpendicular, the product of their slopes is equal to -1. Or you can also write it like this, that slope of one line is negative of reciprocal of other. Both of them are same results. If lines are parallel, slopes are equal. If lines are perpendicular, product of their slopes is -1. Okay. And what about other cases when lines are not parallel and perpendicular? Then we find the relation between the slopes using this result. Tan alpha is mod of m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 m2. Is it clear? Anyone having any doubt? Anyone having any doubt? Any problem? Okay, then I will just take one or two examples and that's it. So you are supposed to solve exercise 10.1. Okay, please keep this in mind. This will help you understand things in a better way. Okay, so this is the question. If the angle between two lines is pi by 4, and slope of one of the lines is half, find the slope of other line. This is the question. See this. What is given? Acute angle between the lines is given. Alpha is given. Slope of one of the lines is given, half. We have to find the slope of other lines. Simple question. Since tan alpha is mod of m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 m2, put the values. Tan pi by 4. Here it will be half minus m2 upon 1 plus half into m2. Tan pi by 4 is 1. Here you take the LCM, 1 minus 2 m2, 2 plus m2. 2 will cancel each other in numerator and denominator. Now can anyone tell me, see this thing is equal to mod. If I want to remove mod, what should I write? This is equal to 1. I want to remove mod from here. What should I write on the right hand side? Do you remember properties of modulus? What should I write on the right hand side?
-1.
Yes, correct. Plus minus 1. Because see, if mod x equal to 1, x equal to plus minus 1. Mod x equal to a, x is plus minus a if a is positive. We have discussed all these things. So two cases. 1 minus 2m2 upon 2 plus m2 equals 1. Or 1 minus 2m2 upon 2 plus m2 is minus 1. Let us solve this first part. 1 minus 2m2 is 2 plus m2. So m2 comes out to be minus 1 by 3, right? Or there is another possibility that 1 minus 2m2 is equal to minus 2 minus m2. So from here, this is 3 and this is m2. So m2 comes out to be 3. So the slope of second line can either be minus 1 by 3 or it can be 3. So simple question. See, alpha is given. M1 is given. You have to find M2. You have the formula. Just put it here. And if you will remove modulus from here to here, you need to use this property that mod x is a, then x is plus minus a, right? Now I'm going to take the last question for today. Line through the points minus 2,6 and 4,8 is perpendicular to the line through the points 8, 12 and x, 24. Find x. This is the last question. So basically there are two lines. Okay. There are two lines in the question. One line is passing through minus 2,6 and 4,8 and other line is passing through 8, 12 and x, 24. And the first line is perpendicular to the second line. Everything is given in simple language. All the concepts have been covered. With the help of that, you can easily find x. Can anyone tell me how you will use this information that the first line is passing through these 2 points minus 2,6 and 4,8? And keeping in mind that you have to use the fact that the lines are perpendicular. So how to use this information?
So the first line is reciprocal to the second.
First line is reciprocal. No, you will not say that line is reciprocal. You need to say something else. What is that term? Yes, anyone?
Slope of line.
Yeah, slope of line will be negative of the reciprocal, not reciprocal. M1, M2 minus 1. So first thing that you need to do is find the slope. Slope of first line. Slope of first line, say M1 equals, use the 2-point form, y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Take care of the signs here and the brackets as well. So 2 by 6, this is 1 by 3. Now find slope of second line. Slope of second line. Here also 2 points are given. So y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. This comes out to be 12 by x minus 8. Given that lines are perpendicular. Given that lines are perpendicular. This implies m1, m2 equals minus 1. Let us write the values. m1, in place of m1 this is 1 by 3. In place of m2 it is 12 upon x minus 8 is equal to minus 1. So 12 by 3 is 4, and if you shift x minus 8 to the right hand side it is 8 minus x. This is the answer. X comes out to be 4. Simple. So we needed to find the value of x, and now you have the information about the second point also. X comma 24. What is that point now? 4 comma 24. Okay. You can do one thing. See, someone was asking for the notes. I tell you one simple thing. These things are written in a very simple language in NCERT. You will have the recording as also, and you can do the general reading of NCERT, and then you can start solving 10.1. It will hardly take 1 hour, not more than that. So devote this time. So before you come for the next class, that is tomorrow, please ask your doubts from NCERT 10.1. And for test syllabus, I am telling you PNC and complex. Revise from your class notes, okay, class recording, whatever, and only those concepts will be asked in form of objective questions in your coming Sunday test. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you show the previous question?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Hey, could you scroll down a little?
Yeah,
So
sure.
scroll down a bit.
Wait a minute.